So I want to talk to you about the trap of the word someday. We always think about, I'll do that one day, or one day I want to do that, or someday I can do this, but we never take action. And I'm guilty of that. I dream. I'm a big dreamer. And I think about, someday I want to do this, or someday I want to do that. And I still haven't been to Italy yet, and that's been on my bucket list for countless years. I had it planned, had it booked. I was getting ready to fly out, and then you know what happened in 2020. COVID hit, and that was it. It was over. And I never rebooked that trip. Other things in life came about, and I missed out on an opportunity. So after I lost my last parent, and I went through my second divorce, I started thinking about the someday. What am I going to do? Retirement's on the horizon. I can see it. It's less than 30 months away. So I started thinking, I've got to come up with a plan. But I think of the big picture, and I know I can do it, but then when it comes to the small details, sometimes I get overwhelmed. And I have to realize that I have to break things down into small increments. If I try to do everything all at once, it just overwhelms me and anxiety sets in, and then I have to regroup and come up with a different plan. So I decided 12/23/2028 is going to be my drop dead date. I'm retiring. I'll be just shy of 63, and I'm going to tell you, once I made that decision, it was like a weight was lifted off of me. It was like, okay, now I have a goal. I have a goal. Now I have to implement this plan. So that being said, that's my end date for retirement. So I have a little less than 3 years to figure this out. So my someday is coming. I've already locked it in, so I'm not turning back. So I've been doing the research, a lot of research, and I basically journal everything so I can keep a mental record of what's going on. Like I said, the main thing I was working on was a budget. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope it kind of opened your eyes a little bit about what my journey's looking like, what my budget, how I want to live is going to be. And you know, I want to live that luxury lifestyle. I want to live in that top 1% in gated community, close to town, close to the restaurants, close to the malls, close to the action. That's just me. I love being around things. So that's my budget. Not saying that's for you, but that is the budget I'm working with. But the someday. Now, what's it gonna take someday? Man, there's a lot involved. There's a lot of wheels in motion. And I'll be working through that. I think the first thing I need to start doing is sort of cleaning out the garage. I've got tools for everything. I probably have 15 pair of pliers. What am I going to do with 15 pair of pliers? What am I going to do with 20 screwdrivers? I mean, I have so much stuff I've accumulated over the years. My plan, and if anybody has a better idea, tell me, is I'm going to take all these spare tools, and ratchet sets, I'm going to bundle them, put them in Ziploc bags, and I'm going to put a price on them and go on Marketplace and just sell them. I mean, that seems to be the easiest way to do it. I don't want to have to go on eBay and do shipping and all this stuff. I'm just gonna put it on Marketplace, come pick it up, or I'll meet you somewhere, and that'll be it. Same thing with clothes. Clothes I'll probably just donate to a charity, a reputable charity. There's a lot of them out there that aren't any good, but I'm not going to say anything. But you find your local charity that is upstanding in the community, and that's who you should support. The little local small charities. The other thing, I got a couple of, I got a vintage BMW Z3. If anybody's make me a good offer, she'll be 30 years old next year. She's had a lot of work done on her. I'm probably actually going to gift that to my son. I like that. He would like that. But yeah, the someday thing. So someday's coming for me. But when I think of the big picture, I mean, I can see myself landing in the Philippines. I can visualize the life I want. But it's all the things in between it's going to take to get there. Working on visas, working on the logistics of getting there, making sure all my financials are squared away. I need to set up a trust for the kids, make sure that's taken care of. I just don't like the will. I have a will, but it's just not ironclad like a trust. So I just want to make sure when the time comes, there's no infighting. You get what you get. That way, it'll save them a lot of grief. Save me a lot of grief knowing that I took care of things before I moved. So, yep. So just making sure I've got everything covered before I go. I want to land there and not have a lot of issues. I'm going to have pretty much everything worked out before I get there. And you will see, if you follow me on this journey, you'll see. I'll have a plan. I'll have a full proof plan. I know there's some things that are going to go wrong, some things I'm going to do wrong, but learn from my mistakes, and I'll learn from my mistakes, and I'll correct them, and I'll make it right. But I think I got a lot of good content and information to provide you. I've been working on this for a while before I started this journey, this channel, because I wanted to make sure I was going to have enough content to cover the 30 months it's going to take me to get there. And the more I started thinking about it, I was like, wow, I've got a lot of information that I can pass along to people who are interested or who may be fearful to take that next step. I was scared to death. And, I'm still got a little bit of anxiety about it, but not like I did, because I've journaled it, I've written it out, I've kind of got my plan in place and the timelines, what I'm going to do the first 6 months, what I'm going to do the second 6 months. I got it in phases, phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And by the time I get to 5, man, it is game on. That's when it's really going to take off the last 6 months. It's going to be wild. But like I said, I think I'm going to be different from most people who go to the Philippines. I think most guys just say, hey, I'm going, and they show up there, and then you see their videos and they're trying to figure everything out. I'm not like that. I told you, I'm a healthcare provider. My whole life has been about treatment plans and making plans for my patients to get from point A to point B and regain their lives. And I can't fly by the seat of my pants that way. I am not built that way. And I have a girlfriend, and she always is complaining about that. She goes, God, you just have to think things out to the dot all the I's, cross all the T's. And I'm like, yeah, I do, because I don't want to be stranded, or I don't want to be lost. I want to at least have some knowledge of the lay of the land. And the Philippines is a totally different animal from the U.S. But I'm not worried about it. I'm just putting it out there in the universe. I'm not going to worry about it. It will happen. It will happen in its own time. I don't need to force it. I've got plenty of time. So that's why I'm just doing the step back, deep breath, pick one thing I need to work on, focus on that, get it accomplished, or at least get it almost to the end point, share that information with you guys, and then I will tell you, once I get there, my entire channel will change. I will show you the life I'm living, what it is like to be there. My approach is going to be a little different from most of the vloggers you see. They're on a lot of them I see are on a fixed budget, and that's okay. I mean, that's fine. You know, they're on Social Security alone, but I was fortunate enough to work and save and invest. So my experience is probably going to be a little different than theirs, and I'm not saying that to brag or anything. I'm just saying I want to show you differently from the guy that says, hey, you can live here on $1,200 a month, or you can live here $15 a month. I want to show you if you got $3,000 a month, maybe $4,000 or $5,000 a month. I want to show people there is other ways of getting there based on your finances. So I hope my channel will be a little different, and my experience will be a little different than most you're seeing there. Plus, I'm going to a different place than most of these vloggers. Most of them are in Dumaguete, CBO, I think is what it is called, Cebu, Manila, Makati, BCG. But I don't even ever see anybody talking about Davao City. And, you know, what's encouraging to me about that is it's below the typhoon belt. So they don't get nailed like Cebu and Manila. They get a lot of rain from it, from what I've done in my research. And of course they've got a few earthquakes, and I've lived in California, so I'm used to that. Not a big deal. But being in a major city, you're going to have fewer brownouts and grid problems. So I'm looking for good infrastructure, good health care. That's very important to me. And, you know, health insurance, and I'll get into all that later, and how much the costs are, all of those things. But yeah, the infrastructure, health care, cost of living, it's going to be a little bit more than Dumaguete. I think about 15 to 18% of my calculations. Definitely a lot cheaper than Manila, Makati, BCG, and Cebu. So, but I'll get into all that in the budget. I'll explain all that to you. I mean, actually I covered that in the budget, but as I go along, that budget will change. The pro forma will change, as I explained in that video. So I will be reworking that many times before I come up with that final figure of what I want to spend or need to spend for the life I want. But always remember, someday will never come unless you take action. Don't be afraid. All you have to do is just start. Maybe start with a budget. I mean, I'm giving you a lot of the information, the numbers of what it costs to live there. But do your own research. Don't just rely on me. I'm online all the time, whether it be AI, Google, doing searches, reaching out to other people, people who have lived there, and just getting my information that way. So like I said, don't trust my numbers. Do your own math, do your own research, and just find some comfort. That's the best I can say. You got to find your own comfort. If you lay out a plan, just journal it out. Start with a budget. Start with the visa. Look at the visa types. Look at what healthcare would cost you. Look what it takes to open a bank account there, or get a ACR card. And I'll go into all this stuff later. Well, you know what? I take that back. That should be something you should do later. You should start looking at domiciles in the U.S. You know, you're going to want to set up a physical address. If you sell your house and you don't have a physical address, your mail has to be sent somewhere. And I'm in the Carolinas, and I'm going to go to a place in Florida, and they're going to establish a physical address there, not a virtual mailbox. This is an actual physical address. So I can get my mail there. And it can be scanned, I can look at it, they can ship it to me, they can destroy it if I want them to. So Florida doesn't have state income tax, so that's a win-win. You're not paying state income tax in the state you're in. I live in South Carolina, and I'd have to pay state income tax and the 15%, roughly, give or take, for federal. So I'm only going to be paying federal. You're going to need to look at your bank accounts. You need to look to see which ones are expat friendly, and I've got several I'll share with you, and I'll tell you which ones to avoid. I've already done that. I've already actually set up a few accounts already, just because I want to have some time on them to be established with those particular banks. So, but I don't want to get into that too far right now, but all I can say is, if you're at a place like I am and you don't have a lot of family left and your finances may be a little limited as far as what you want to live on in the United States, and you're thinking about Southeast Asia, just don't worry about someday. Start today. Just start spending 30 minutes doing a little research, and your anxiety will gradually go down and down and down. And look at other YouTube channels. There's a lot of vloggers out there who have boots on the ground who are living there. Use them as resources. But I hope you'll smash that button, smash that subscribe button, and follow me on this journey. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. Or if there's a topic you want me to address that I haven't addressed, please put in a comment, hey, you're overlooking something, Thomas. You forgot about this, and that's going to be a problem or an issue. I welcome that. Please do that, because I don't know everything, and I'm learning just like you are. So anyway, take a little action. It's going to be all right. But anyway, always remember, take care of yourself, take care of what family you have left, and remember, time waits on nobody. That's the one thing you cannot outrun. So with that said, I'll see you next time, and remember, time is strong.
Time is strong, and so are you. You have got to stay focused. Never give up on your big dreams.